Good morning, Mizzou fans, and welcome to your favorite time of the year. Spring? Nah, 70 degrees is nice, but hey, we'll get plenty of decent weather. March Madness? Yeah, that's cool. Not what I'm talking about. 12 days from now, college basketball's transfer portal opens up. We're going to talk about it a little bit here on PM in the AM for March 12th, brought to you by our friends at Cornerstone Family Medicine Clinic. CornerstoneFMClinic.com is the website. Again, Cornerstone FM Clinic. You can learn much more about them there than I can tell you in these 45 seconds. But they offer in-person virtual memberships. They're going to offer you alternatives to the ER, to urgent care. They can supplement or replace your expensive insurance. Most importantly, they're on call 24/7. Outside of business hours, whatever, you can reach out, cornerstonefmclinic.com. You're going to see a provider guaranteed either that day or the next day. Make sure to check them out online for more information about how to get a membership. All right, transfer portal needs for Missouri. The first thing is you got to keep your own roster intact, at least as much as you want to, right? Priorities for Missouri this offseason, and I can promise you this is already being worked on or already has been worked on. But priorities, Mark Mitchell come back, Anthony Robinson come back, Trent Pierce come back. I'm just telling you, those are what I've heard are Missouri's priorities. Jacob Cruz has an extra year. If he wants to take that, it would seem like both sides would be happy with that, and he would come back too. But I think Mitchell, Robinson, Pierce are the priorities to make sure you've got those guys as building blocks on next year's roster. Then obviously you've got the freshman class, and you hope those guys stick around and develop like last year's freshman class mostly did, to be quite honest. But then what are you looking for when you go out into the portal? And we're already seeing players from some of these schools whose teams are eliminated in conference tournaments saying they are going to enter on March 24th. Well, Caleb Grill can't come back, and Tamar Bates can't come back. There's a whole lot of three-pointers and a whole lot of outside shooting you've got to replace. Now, those guys do more than that. I think Grill's all-around game, rebounding and defense are underrated. Tamar Bates, second on the team in steals. So there are more things that those guys do than just knock down shots, but you need some shooters. I mean, going into next season with Jacob Cruz and hoping Trent Pierce figures it out, and then, Anthony Robinson, yes, he is an improved three-point shooter, but not a volume three-point shooter. You need a couple guys that can knock down jump shots. The other thing you're looking at is you got to look in the middle. Whatever you think about Trent Burns and Peyton Marshall and the long-term potential, I think you hope for development out of those guys. I don't think you can go into next year saying those two guys as the big men next to Mitchell were good. We can just roll with that. I think if you want a similar product, similar level of play as you had this year, like, you're going to have to go out and find a big man who can do for you defensively and on the boards at least what Josh Gray did, but also hopefully one that can do a little bit more offensively. Josh Gray, I think filled a really good role for this team, but there were times where they just needed somebody they could throw the ball into down low outside of Mitchell, who is obviously very effective inside, but kind of an undersized guy. They need a big man they can throw the ball to and get a little bit more offense out of. So I think those are the three big things. Point guard, I think you're pretty good with Anthony Robinson, spelled by T.O. Barrett next year. And then, Aaron Rowe as a freshman, kind of in that developmental role like T.O. was this year. I think Mitchell, Cruz, Pierce, if you have those guys on the wings or, at the 3/4, I think you feel pretty good about that. Marcus Allen playing a bigger role. Honor Boating, hopefully, honestly, stepping into a starting role at shooting guard if things go well. And I know that's a big leap to make, but I think that would be the hope. So I think you're looking at a big man and two shooters. And then it depends on what you lose from the roster, because we can live in this Pollyanna world where you add a whole bunch and you lose nothing. But A, the numbers don't work, and B, that's just not real life. Everybody loses something. You hope it's not something you really want to keep, but everybody's going to lose something in the portal. So again, doesn't open until March 24th, but the fact is people love the portal, even if they say they hate it. The transfer portal page on our board or thread on our message board at powermizzou.com is already on page 3. It just started yesterday. And Missouri doesn't open tournament play until tomorrow night. So we had a morning to kind of look at something else, talk about a different subject. Wanted to do that. While you're here, like, comment, subscribe. Might also ask you to go check out a membership at powermizzou.com. 30% off for a year or $1 for your first month right now. And again, a reminder, go to cornerstonefmclinic.com to check out our friends at Cornerstone Family Medicine. Drew King and I will be live with you around 7 o'clock tonight. Drew's on his way to Nashville today. We're going to do our Mississippi State / LSU SEC tournament preview tonight. And then I'll be back with you tomorrow morning talking Mizzou starting conference tournament play. Thanks for hanging out.